What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So, first of all, let me tell you, it's been a long day. You can see here, it's just about 9 o'clock at night in the real world, and I have been going all day trying to record this. I just need to turn this down a little bit. It's a little loud. It's been one thing after another. It's funny, every so often you're going to have days like this, where none of your mods want to get along with any of your other mods, right? And that's the problem I've been having. You can see down there, hooked up to the telehandler, we have a new tipper for two reasons. One is because, well, one real reason. The Dazor just, for some reason, stopped working. It crashed the game every time I hooked up something to it. I don't know what the problem was. I had downloaded and put in a couple of new mods. I got rid of those, got rid of the Dazor, and everything seems to work now. I was having trouble recording. I can't record Farm Sim with OBS because it just lags the game out way too hard. I can't really, I can't move around or do anything. It's awful. Raptor changed the way it records, so I had to figure that all out now with the latest update. Ugh, just one of those days, right? So anyway, so here we are down at the pig and beef facility, as you can see, and with quite the convoy too. It was all hands on deck to come down here because A, they need food, hence the mix wagon. B, they need straw, hence the Unimog with the trailer. They need to be mucked out, with hence the telehandler. If I could get through a sentence, it's been a long day. If I could get through you can see the telehandler down there with the Marshall, and then the shovel. Geez, BP, get through a sentence, is on the back of the Unimog because I needed the bale fork and the shovel. So we figured, well, let's just throw the shovel on the back of the Unimog and bring it down that way. So anyway, so the first thing we got to do is we got to muck them out. We'll muck them out. We'll put down some new straw, and then we'll feed them. So I just walk down here, and hopefully nothing weird happens. Hopefully nothing crashes on me or anything. I did change the bale forks too to the regular ones instead of the extended ones. I didn't need the extended ones with a telehandler. I just had those for a long time when I was still using a front loader to stack bales with. But I decided to trade them in for the regular ones. Plus those fold up to go down the road, so they're a little easier to use. I guess I'll put a little story to the Dazor. The Dazor was beat up when I bought it. It had thousands of hours on it. I was probably the third or fourth owner of that thing. It was barely street legal. The bearings were all worn out. The chassis was starting to rot out on me, and it was just getting unsafe, and I didn't want to use it anymore. So called up Chad and got a brand new Marshall, which is maybe kind of silly for just to haul manure with, but it's a little lower sided too, and this should last quite a while. Should be the last utility tipper I ever need to buy. So the first thing we need to do is we need to jump into this, get it fired up, and get the brake off, and go swap out the bale forks for the shovel. Now, hopefully this isn't super laggy because, like I said, Raptor has changed kind of the way that it works now. It runs a whole another client behind the Raptor client now to record with, so hopefully it's not too laggy. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't going to try to record this when the sun was coming up and everything because that would have just been ridiculously laggy, I think. So I decided to just try it this way instead. Hopefully it works out okay. So, hey, how about that? It worked. It's too bad about OBS. I can record a lot of stuff with OBS, but for some reason I could never record Farm Sim with OBS. Never. No matter what I did, it always just not sounded, but looked awful. It was lag, and it was really bad stuttery, more than my stuff normally is, I should say. So, but anyway, so it looks like we're going to be able to get some work done here. It's a few days later than the last time you guys were here with me. So we're going to be getting ready to seed here pretty soon. I'm having a huge alkalinity problem all of a sudden. It seems like the home fields and field 10 have just gone badly alkaline on me, and I can't quite figure out what the problem is. I've put lime down a couple of times, worked it in and everything. So, we're going to have to, we're going to have to turn the right way, BP. We're going to have to plant, and we're going to have to hope for the best, I think, is what's going to end up happening. Obviously, as the stuff grows, it'll change the soil pH. Hopefully it changes it enough that, it's not, I don't lose a whole yield, because I have barley, according to my crop rotation, I have barley going in the home fields, and those are big fields, as you guys know, so I can't afford to lose a whole crop of barley. And then I don't remember what I have going in field 10, but I think I have OSR going in field 10, and I certainly don't want to lose a whole, what's the story here? I got a weird collision going on here. Oh, because this has sides, right? So, of course, it's going to have a weird collision on it. Oh, what else can go wrong today, right? It's one of those days where everything just wants to go wrong no matter what I do. But yeah, I think I have OSR going in on field 10, and I certainly don't want to lose a whole crop of OSR too, considering how expensive it is. I'm really only using OSR as a break crop anyway, but because I've had barley and wheat in that field for the last couple of years, so I figured it'd be good to give it a break, break the weed cycle and everything with a different crop. So all my other fields seem to be okay. It's just those 2 fields, and if you remember, I've had a bit of a acidity problem on those fields anyway. And again this year, and I think it has something to do with the soil moisture. Obviously, with the drought and everything, the soil pH levels have not been fantastic anyway. And I think those 2 fields are more susceptible to the, to sort of the soil conditions than some of the other ones have been. But so again, hopefully everything works out and they all sort of figure themselves out, and we don't, even if the yields are down, which they probably will be, because I doubt I'll be able to get them back to perfect, before everything's ready to harvest, but we're going to try really hard. At least this year, as you guys know, we can water a couple of times, which is great. I'm still going to stick with my, get a crop in the ground, get a stage of growth, water, and then monitor during the year and try to water again at the end of this stage. That's really weird. That's a weird collision. Again, because these things have sides, and even though they're not there now, they're still there in the model, so. And of course, this thing isn't hooked up to anything, so I can't get a good. See, I was stuck on that side all the way across. It is always something, I swear. I can't get a good sort of idea of how full that is, but this doesn't hold very much. It holds 14,500, but for the money that I wanted to spend, Chad didn't have any used tippers kicking around, so I kind of had to buy, what I could get. I suppose I should take a look and see if there's any manure left in this before I'm just, scraping for nothing. Let's see. Where am I? Beef 1. Is there that much manure in it? Really? Wow. As you can see, they're out of pretty much everything. So, even water, too. I need to get the water tanker down here, too. I just didn't have a spare tractor and a spare driver to come down here with them. So, wow, there's a lot of manure in these things. There's still 1,100 liters of manure in this one. Okay, very good. Well, let's get it. This is going to be multiple trips. I probably, if I was smart, I would have done this in a placeable pile. Didn't want to do that. And then picked it up later, but... Or at least set, course play up to run this back and dump it. Which is probably what I should have done, because now I'm going to have to run back and forth a bunch of times. But this one's empty now, so maybe what I'll do is... Maybe do these one at a time, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but... It looks like that's going in there. I hope it's going in there. I hope I didn't just waste all that. I suppose I could grab a couple of straw bales now and put them in there. It should only take one. I believe these facilities only take one apiece, even when they're completely empty. I think we'll find out in a minute here. This is a bit of a fiddly operation, and it's too bad I had to bring everything down to do it. But I didn't really have any choice. I'd rather have one of these guys seeding at the moment. But okay, got to get soy in the ground first. Soy and potatoes, because as you guys know, I have the contract with Soya UK now to take all my soy for seeds, because soybeans are a GMO, a genetically modified organism, so it's not, we can't sell it as a consumption crop, so. Do I want to auto load these? Yeah, why not? They shouldn't be locked on a trailer because I brought them over here and then saved the game because I was having so much problems with it. I'm like, I'm going to save it at every stage, which you should do anyway. And I know better. I've been playing this game long enough to know that, if you're not saving all the time, then you're just wasting your time. But I don't know. Sometimes I get complacent, I guess. Oh, everything's working good and, blah, blah, blah. And then everything goes wrong and I'm like, what the hell? It's just, it's one of those things. It's going to happen from time to time. So unlock that. Get out here, spread this. If it lets me, very good. Excellent. That will be more than enough straw. One bale in each pen is, it pretty much fills it up. So, plus I don't have that many animals in here anyway. I think I only have 30 of each. Oh, a fence. So, Okay, now what I need to do is I need to figure out how much stuff is in this trailer. So I guess the easiest way to do that would just be to hook the telehandler back up to it again. No. This telehandler certainly has no shortage of power. It's certainly powerful enough to haul this thing, so even full, you know. Whoa, didn't like that. Of course, it is a weird angle where it has to hook up to. Oh, maybe it doesn't like this. It's pretty full. 10,000. I should be able to get. Well, you know what? Let's fill it up. Let's do that. Oh, maybe using the telehandler is not the best idea for that. I'll have to hook that up to a tractor, I guess. So we'll drop these back off again. I like to put them in the open position when I drop them off. So the new CZ Mod Passion Black Lion set has come out. And this is part of it. Basically, all it does is it overwrites. If you have this pack already and you get the new one, it overwrites it with it in favor of the new stuff. It comes with a pallet grabber, which is really neat, which I plan on getting. And it comes with a couple of log forks, which I'm not really interested in because I'm not doing any more logging. So, if you guys watch the multiplayer with me and Shawnee B and Scuderia and where am I going? Mirman, you know that we were talking about logging, and how we kind of hope that they take logging out of Farming Simulator 17. Now, I know there's guys who really enjoy it, and there's whole groups of people who do nothing but logging. And again, it's one of those personal sort of things. If you enjoy it and you're good at it and you're willing to put up with some of the fiddliness of it, then it's a lot of fun. But for me, I would rather see them add something else, maybe different animals or, a different way of dealing with animals, maybe, more steps with animals, something like that. For me, that would be better than logging. But, again, people like logging, so I can certainly understand that. Some modders have made an entire career out of making just logging mods, which is neat, in its own way. But because I like the animals so much, and again, it's a personal thing. Everybody has their own thing they're into in the game, because I like dealing with the animals so much that, I would rather see maybe some more in-depth steps with the animals, things like that. I don't know exactly what I would like to see, but I know I wouldn't mind seeing, I don't know, more. Again, I'm not really sure. That should fill this up, I believe. Yep, that's full. Okay. Maybe, I don't know, some sort of simulated vet thing. I don't know. I know that sounds weird, but where a vet would come in and you'd have to pay a certain amount of money, every month for vets to come in and or a vet to come in and look at your animals and immunizations and things like that. Again, leaning more towards the real simulation, I guess, than anything. But okay, let's see. Oh, geez, this is where I wish these guys were real. This is where I wish Perry and Phil were real people, so I could just say, hey, go do this. And of course, again, I could have easily set Courseplay up to do this, but I don't know. I guess I'll just do it myself. Oh, if I was smart, though, right? If I was smart, I would just have made a placeable pile for this somewhere and then come and picked it up myself later. But, okay, well, this is one of those things that needed to be done. This is sort of the last of the... I have sold off all the animals. You can see the money over there, $51,000. We had a lot more than that, but I decided to pay off one of the bank loans, one of the real bank loans that I had. The in-game... Not all of the in-game loan, but most of it. And again, wow, this trailer is really heavy. Again, as far as the story goes, I'm still about $1.1 million in debt, but as far as the game goes, I think I'm $60,000 in debt, which isn't awful. I have a placeable pile right there. I could just dump this right here. Do I want to do that? No, because then I have to chase around and pick it all up again later. And I'll never remember to do it. So let's just bring it all back to the dairy. It's not that far of a drive, so... we'll be cutting grass pretty soon too, getting low on, as you would imagine, on pretty much everything except for silage. I have quite a bit of silage. I put the cows on a silage-only diet for about 4 days of, fast forwarding time to kind of use some of it up, just to sort of, bring in a little realism. I don't think I'm not going to need 2 pits of silage. I'm at 150 cows. In fact, if I bring up the HUD here, whoops, I got all kinds of HUDs going here. What's going on? I need to get rid of one of these HUDs. Hold on. Goodbye. Goodbye, field status. Yeah, we're at 150 cows, so obviously every day I get a couple of new calves that mature up to milking age, and I sell the older ones, trying to stay at 150. So I really can't sustain any more than that. Plus I don't have the acreage for many more cows than that anyway. So me and Mike were having a discussion about how many cows the major has and everything. And of course, as you guys know, the major is a huge farmer in this area. He's got 500 or 600 sheep, where I have 30. He's got about 250 head of dairy cows, so I certainly don't want to become a bigger dairy farmer than him. And he's got the massive acreage to support it, where I don't. He's moving his cows from pasture to pasture, during the course of the year, where I only move mine, from one pasture to another. So I may have to build another pasture though, just because there's a good bite on the grass now as it's spring, but as the season goes on, 150 cows will tear up a meadow in a big hurry. So it's funny. I spent most of the winter complaining I wasn't going to have enough manure, and now I have so much, and I'm not using it because all my fields had so much N on them, because they all had green fertilizer on them. So I won't be doing that again. I won't be planting alfalfa again. If I need to plant anything, I'll probably just plant grass and then plow it up, just because alfalfa is just too laggy for me. It just causes too many issues. And grass is the same thing. Grass will serve the same function if I decide to do it. I don't like to leave fields fallow. If I do anything and I don't plant grass, I may just decide to sort of leave them, leave stubble on them, because that's a viable option too. So this pile can't be full, can it? No, not yet. 235,000 liters. Jeez, that's a lot of manure. I don't know how much these hold, and I guess we'll find out, because I'm still going to have a lot. So, and I have 3/4 of a pit over there that needs to be filled up, that needs to be moved. You can see I have 642,000 liters of liquid manure. So I'm going to have to start looking at a auxiliary liquid manure storage too. So all of a sudden, manure, which was a huge issue for me for a very long time, is not. I mean, you can see it's 9:21 in the morning. I basically just fed these animals it was an early morning here in Old Ridge. Probably fed them about 5 o'clock. And they're 12,499 liters of mixed ration. So, I might start augmenting their diet with silage too. So I don't want to have a bunch of silage left over come maize chopping time again. But yeah, definitely next episode we will be planting. Now I only have the one planter, and I'd love to pick up another seeder. I don't know. We didn't really spend a lot of money so far this spring. Only a couple pieces of equipment. This tipper, the new bale forks, which were $900. I mean, they don't cost hardly anything. But and then of course I could have kept all the money. We had about $129,000, but I'm like, I think it's the responsible thing to do to go to the bank and say, well, listen, here's $68,000 because, I've made a lot of money off animals. I had a ton of animals, about 50, 58 beef cattle and 36 pigs. So, that was quite a bit. And it, obviously they're only worth a couple $100s a head. The pigs are worth a little less. The beef cattle are worth about $600 a head. The pigs are a couple $100 a head. But still, when you have that many, it brings in a fair amount of money. So I just thought it was the responsible thing to do, to go and pay off some of that debt. And assuming that my, unfortunately, one of my biggest fields, the home field, having an alkalinity problem, if that sort of works itself out, I could probably expect a pretty good yield of barley off that. It's a good field, so thanks to the field status HUD, I figured out I own 150 acres of fields. So it doesn't seem like that much, does it? But it is. It's 150 acres according to field status. So, I'm certainly not a massive farm. Now that's just, whoa, jeez. This trailer is not like real terrain, I think is what the problem is. I didn't want to come this way, did I? Why did I come this way? Because I was going to the beef. I was going to the pigs. That's why. So I had to pull back out on the road again. Jeez, BP, pay some attention, will you? That's why I don't record at night, because I'm so fuddled by the end of the night, especially after today. After all the nonsense that's gone on today, I'm just like, what's going on? Right, if I was smart, let's just pull this down here. So we're a little closer to where we're working. There we go. That'll do. Set the brake. Shut the engine off. Jump out. Now I forgot what I was just talking about. What was I just talking about? I don't remember. Go figure. Yeah, it just completely skipped my mind what I was talking about, guys. Sorry. But what I'm hoping to do is, you know, we're still sort of on the lookout for fields. Field 12 is just too big. Although there is the possibility, perhaps, that I could buy half of it. You know, it's a massive field. So, and I don't really have the equipment to work a field that size. You know, not with any efficiency anyway. So, but there is the possibility that I could perhaps, if I could see what I'm doing, buy half the field. So, you may have, if you watched Mike's last video, Mirror Man, he was talking about how Mr. Crawford Brown has suddenly become a property broker. He's gotten into the property business. And knowing the Crawford Browns, like we all do, you know, there's the strong possibility that he's just looking to buy up land to put houses on, right? And I was a little nervous about that. And so I was down in the pub talking to Mike about it. And he was like, well, because I wouldn't worry too much about it in this area because most of the land is owned by the new ladyship. You know, as you guys know, his lordship died a while back. And his daughter is now the new ladyship of this area. So, and Mike seems to think that, you know, she won't be selling off big parcels of land to the Crawford Browns because apparently the Crawford Browns and that family never got along. So I guess I probably won't have too much to worry about with that. Let's see. Okay, those are both empty. Awesome. Very good. Very good. All right, so now, I guess, if I was smart, I would finish off this side so I don't forget to do anything. So we'll drop off the bucket. Grab the forks. You know, this is one of those fiddly jobs where, you know, if you had more than one person doing this, you could do it. Of course, I only have the one, you know, the one telehandler, so it's not like I could, you know, say, okay, well, you go put straw down while I'm mucking out this pen. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, too. Every time you hook it up, you've got to, you know, reset it. But I understand why, you know, so it knows what it's hooked up to, so it knows what it's supposed to do and everything. And to be honest, that's not a bad thing. You know, this is a great set of bale forks and other implements, you know. And for me, you know, or if you're like me and you couldn't stack to save your life, well, this is the way to go. This combination with that trailer, yep, all day. I really, really like it. You know, and I do a lot of baling. I use a lot of bale, so, you know, I need stuff like this to make it so that it's not taking me 3 days to stack, you know, 20 bales or whatever. So, all right. Get this spread. As soon as I get to the trigger, there it is. And that's that. Very good. Okay, those guys are all set now. They just need to be fed. And they're not going to take very much, obviously. I did make, you know, the same amount of mixed rations I make for everything, about 3/4 of a mixed wagon full, so. So, now, we just need to park this. Let's fold those up, because we are going to go across the street, so. Turn that off. Turn that off. Jump back in the case. Get it disconnected from the trailer. So much to do. I left the beacons on. One of these days, I'm going to jump in one of these tractors, and it's not going to start, because I've killed the battery. I didn't leave myself a lot of room here, did I? Good job, BP. I mean, I have all this room over here, and I just jam everything next to it, on top of everything. How am I going to get this? You're not. That's how. Well, I'm going to have to sneak between this water tank, which I need to get over here with a water tanker, but I'll do that off screen. I just figured, you know, this will be the sort of last maintenance episode before we get on to planting. Planting won't take too long. I don't have all that many fields, you know. I have quite a few, but not, you know, they're not massive by any means. Really, the home field and field 1 are my 2 biggest fields, so. Now, am I going to smash it into Unimog? Almost. Yeah, it's funny. I just didn't have enough. I didn't have enough equipment to do, to bring everything down here at the same time. So, all right, let's get these guys fed up. And as soon as I can see again, here we go. Again, this is going to take no time whatsoever. I'm right at that spot where you can see over the top of the roof. Is that it? That's it. All right. Look at that. You can see right through the roof now. That's cool. How come I never noticed that before? That would have been handy. I'm going to go through the wall. Watch your head. Do it like a big boy, BP, and do it from inside the cab. Obviously, I'm going to have mixed rations left over, and I'll put those in the cows, so. I don't know. I think I said this in the multiplayer. Oops. Again, paying attention, BP. I said this in the multiplayer session with Shawnee and Scootery and Meerman. But DeKalb called me and cut my milk prices again. The milk prices are just ridiculous now. In real life, I've seen milk prices as low as 6 cents, 6 pence per liter in the UK. I'm getting about 15 at the moment. So, I mean, I don't know. It's terrifying. But I'm not going to quit being a dairy farmer. I won't do it. Obviously, I'm not making any money off of milk. You know what I mean? Everything, it costs so much money to maintain this herd, and part of my wanting to increase the herd was to make more milk so that I could make a little bit of money off it, but it's never going to show a profit at these milk prices. So, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it, unfortunately, so. All right, drop that off, go back, pick up the muck trailer, bring it over here, get these mucked out, and we got to bring the straw over here too. I may just run the straw across the street. It's only 2 bales, so. It's one of those deals, like I try not to let this happen where that everything needs to be done at the same time, but there was a lot of stuff going on sort of behind the scenes, me trying to get time fast forward and get soil right and everything, It's funny, I spend all this time learning how to use a soil mod calculator, learning how to, do soil mod the correct way, and now I have this huge alkalinity problem, which is going to negate pretty much all of that work. So, I mean, obviously, I'll still, try to keep up with the numbers, keep the right amount of PK, the right amount of N, and all that. Soil moisture is only so much I can do about that with the fact that we can only water twice, but the alkalinity is just killing me. So, oh well, hopefully it will come down as the stuff grows, so. It's just the yields are not going to be optimal. I've not had jeez, I need to go slower through that hole. I'm going to break the front axle of this tractor off. I've not had 100% yield yet, because I get the numbers to where I'm comfortable with, and then not really worry about it. But, I'm really trying to move towards, obviously, this is a business, trying to make money. This farm needs to show a profit, and it has. Just the fact that I'm so much in debt, and it's going to take a long time to get out of it, I pay about $150,000, I think, somewhere around there, worth of loans, every year. So, if I don't take out any more, I'll be okay. But I was still moving a little bit when I put the brake on. That's good for it. All right, let's go and grab the telehandler, run back over here. Hey, Perry or Phil, do you want to bring me the telehandler, please? No? If there was one feature, and again, I don't know how they'd implement it, but if there was one feature I'd love to see in an upcoming version of Farm Sim, it would be that. It would be the, hey, I don't know, click on this tractor and send it here. That would be awesome. Beacons, because we will be crossing the road. So. Am I going to have to make 2 trips, really? I don't suppose there's any No, don't be dumb, BP. I was going to try to pick this bucket up on the spikes, but there's no way. That would just be a disaster. So I'll just bring this over, drop it off, come back, get the bucket. While Perry and Phil just kind of hang out, drink their coffee, I guess we'll say they're on a break. All right. let's leave these out of the way, or as much out of the way as I can anyway, and that'll work. Open them up again, lower them, make sure they're not in the fence. Nope, they're not in the fence. Lower them a little bit more, drop them off. Oh, excuse me, my nose is so stuffed up today. It's probably 25 degrees outside right now, when day before yesterday it was 60. Again, crazy New England weather. What are you going to do? Plus, I went for a walk today. You know, I'm sure you guys have heard me say this, whether in the vlog or whether just in other videos, you know, that I like to walk. I've done so much of it in my life that if I don't walk every so often, I start to feel odd. You know, my body's like, are we going to go for a walk soon? So I decided, even though it was cold as hell, I decided to go for a walk today. And of course, you know, stuffed me right up solid, so. And then I came home and said, oh, you know what would be a good idea? Let's make a video. Oh, because I really wanted to get a farm sim video out for you guys before the weekend was over. Today's Friday. You guys will see this on Sunday. You know, but I was just struggling all day with it. It was like, is nothing going to work? It's so frustrating, right? You know, it's one thing when you're just playing and you can say, to hell with it. You know, I'll go watch TV or watch videos or, you know, play another game or whatever. It's another thing when you're a YouTuber. And again, nobody makes me make videos. You know, I could take as much time off as I want. You know, I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. But I really want to stick with the video every day thing. So sometimes you got to muscle through some nonsense that you'd rather not have to deal with, you know. But ultimately, and again, I've said this 100 times too, it's the mark of a good game that even when this game is being just completely stupid, I still want to play it. So, you want to get down there? Thank you. That'll work. Oh, I didn't check to see how full this thing was. Go figure, right? Hopefully we can get... we should be able to get both loads in here, maybe? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. This thing doesn't have quite... The Dazor only had about 3,000 liters more, 3.5 tons more capacity than this one, but... The Dazor just didn't want to work anymore. It was broken, so, okay, time for it to go. And yes, Ian Blake, I know what you're going to say, but the Yoskin I'm saving for potatoes and sugar beets, so I don't want to put manure in it. I need to have a dedicated, you know, trailer just for manure. And speaking of that, if I'm only ever going to use this for manure and I'm never going to need those sides, I might have to go into the mod and actually comment out those sides, because, you know, having those invisible collisions is sometimes annoying. Especially if you're me and you forget they're there all the time. And I'll forget 1,000 times that they're there. Trigger. Is there another full load in here? Or is that it now? Is that it? We are in Pig 1. Pig 1 is... no, Pig 2, I'm sorry. Pig 2 was empty. Excellent. Very good. I had a thought about getting a bigger live animal transporter too, just because of the fact that, you know, I seem to be making a lot of pigs, and I don't always get to them, you know, or not just pigs, but beef too. I don't always get to them as often as I'd like because of everything else going on. So I was thinking about getting a bigger transporter, you know, but then I'm like, that's more money that I don't really need to spend. I don't know. We'll give that some thought, I guess. Geez, I don't think we're going to get a whole lot more in here, huh? Okay, well, that's fine. I feel like I've made a lot of videos of this process. Like, I you know, maybe not all at once like this, you know, but I feel like I've done a lot of these videos. But you know what? Oh, excuse me. This is, you know, and you guys know this is probably my favorite thing to do in the game. If I could just do this, you know, that would be great. I would absolutely love that. You know, where I could just have a dairy farm. You know, if there was a way to buy straw to bring in, you know, straw, stuff like that, maybe grow a little bit of corn for fodder and things like that, you know, that would be awesome. And maybe that'd be another thing I'd like to see implemented in the, you know, in an upcoming version of the game, where you could buy straw, where you could buy bales, you know, go to a place with a trailer, say I need, you know, 100 bales or whatever. That would be cool, you know. And again, I understand why they do it the way they do it, because, you know, you want to have the full sort of farming experience. I get it. But it would be neat to be able to sort of emulate real farming, where not every farmer has, enough land. Not every sort of animal farmer has enough land to be able to support, all the different things you need for the animals, right? Almost everybody can grow corn and things like that. But sometimes, you need straw. We're probably not going to have 500-600 acres of, of arable land. So you have to buy your straw from somewhere else. Now, I need to back out of here because I kind of close myself in. I'll tell you one thing. We are going to have plenty of manure for next season. The thing about solid manure, I would put it on the field. I'd put it on my meadows, after I cut. But with soil mod, it doesn't have any effect. If you put solid manure down and don't work it in the ground, it doesn't do anything. It just dissipates after 3 days, like any other windrow. So with slurry, you can put slurry down, and it will have its maximum benefit without being worked in. So because obviously, with regular manure, you would put solid manure down in a meadow in real life because the rain and everything would work it in. But soil mod, doesn't emulate that, obviously. So, and you don't want to tear up your grass fields by plowing it in. So, unless you're trying to, redo your grass fields. And I've been having a thought about that too. I have been here now 4 years. I don't know when the last time these grass fields were ever, either overseeded or completely torn up and replanted, So I may, and I'll only be able to do the 2 I own because obviously I won't be tearing up the council meadows. And I may plant another one for myself this year too. But I may actually end up tearing up the 2 I own and replanting them just to get sort of a fresh start, get a new root structure and all that going. Because that's something you actually do every so often in real life. As I'm sure you guys are aware. Easy. This road's very bumpy. Ugh. I want to get my test plot of sunflowers in too. See how they grow and everything. See how they do around here, and then that they can go into the rotation too. Although I don't have enough fields right now. I need to buy one more field to really sort of include sunflowers into the rotation, because what I definitely don't want to do is put sugar beets or potatoes in the same field, more than once every 5 or 6 years. If I'm going to keep up with a realistic rotation, that's the way it's got to be because, that's how it's done in real life. Potatoes are, just nutrient, they'll suck all the nutrients out of the soil, make a mess of the soil, so once every 5 or 6 years is about the maximum you want to put any root crop in the ground. Corn, wheat, barley, things like that can kind of be double seeded, they can go in. You can do a barley or a wheat, and a lot of guys do. Like I'll do it. I'll put in winter barley. I was going to do winter wheat and winter barley, but I'm just going to do winter barley. Once the summer barley comes up, so I'll go barley, and then, the couple of the fields that have other stuff on them will have corn in them for silage. So I think I'll need 2, depending on the size of the fields. Probably won't be field 1, but I'll probably do 1 or 2 fields of corn for silage. And whether I bring in the contractors this year or whether I borrow the majors forage harvester, I certainly probably won't have enough money to buy my own. So I might give the major a break. I use a lot of his equipment, so I may give him, and he's never had a problem with it. He's never said anything to me about it. Whoa, lag? What's up, lag? That was funny. Guaranteed this is Raptor doing something in the background. I've been using Raptor for a long time. In fact, probably 90% of the videos I've made have been made on Raptor. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they changed everything. They changed the way they do everything. So, and I'm like, no. And it took me, half a day to figure out the changes they made and how to get it sort of set back to the way that I like it. We all know the Abacus doesn't like a million things running at the same time. And now, unfortunately, I have to have 2 separate clients running to get, to do the same thing I was doing with one before. Oh, well, that's just how it is, I guess. Wow, 250,000 liters of solid manure. Who'd have ever guessed, huh? And that's just in this pile. What was I talking about? The major, yeah. The major's been awesome. He's always, if I call him up, and usually I don't deal with him. I deal with one of his guys. you know, and I'm like, listen, you know, I was wondering if I kick in some money and, you know, fill it up with diesel, can I use your forage harvester? Oh yeah, no problem, you know, no problem, BP. Just, you know, because we know you're not going to tear it up, you're going to bring it back clean and full of diesel and everything. But, you know, I think, you know, there's a lot of contractors around here, and I certainly don't mind supporting people. So I may get the contractors in to do my May silage this year. So. Plus, you know, I'm putting my, last year I sort of was a desperation thing. It's, you know, my maize sort of went in, you know, very late in the season. So I got lucky that the major had already done most of his silage. So, but this year it's going to go in at a more reasonable time. So unfortunately, we're all going to kind of need to silage at the same time. So I probably won't be able to use his equipment anyway. So I'm going to have to get the contractors in, which means I'm going to have to start looking around and start calling around and figure out which contractor can actually get down here at the time I need him to. I mean, there's a lot of contractors in the area, obviously, but everybody, you know, does maize at about the same time. So I'd like to get some silage in for the BGA too. What I may do is on the fields that I don't, you know, that obviously I'm going to have 2 fields of winter barley that come up after the regular barley comes up. I will have 2 fields of fodder silage, and maybe I'll do 2 fields of BGA silage too. They only want corn silage, you know, they don't want grass silage. I don't do grass silage anyway, so all my grass goes for hay. So although you know, it may not be a bad idea to have 2 pits, you know, 1 pit of grass silage, 1 pit of maize silage. That's kind of how it's done in the real world, right? But I don't know, I don't think I have that much grass. Even with the council metals, I don't think I'll have enough to do that unless I do it all first cut. If I do silage first cut, then I'd probably have enough. Let's see, we're going across the street. Let's go this way, so we don't have to go through that damn hole anymore. "41 minutes. 41 minutes of mucking out." And, you know, but again, all stuff that needs to be done, right? Animals need to be fed, animals need to be mucked out, and it kind of makes sense to do it in this order. You would muck them out, you'd put new straw down, you'd feed them, you know, and then you'd move on. So, and in the next episode, we will be seeding. I may, if it's warm, and it's been kind of warm for the last couple days, I may get a cut on this grass. Get some hay down, I guess. I just said I was going to do silage first, right? But I may end up doing hay first because I don't need silage at the moment. I will need hay, though. All right, shut you off. We'll dump what's left in this one. Did I leave this running? Tell me I didn't. Nope. Good job, BP. Kind of parking the trailer at a weird angle. Go figure, right? Whatever makes this job harder for myself, I guess. Yeah, there's that invisible collision again. Okay. I am in this shed over here. Actually, let me just check here and see. Pig 1, yep, 39.46. Okay, so there's almost a bucket left in there. Very good. You know, it's funny, when I first bought this telehandler, I was barely using it. Now I use it all the time. I mean, you can see it's got 17 hours on it, you know. And I use it all the time. It's because the animals, you know, the herd has grown so much that, you know, I'm using it constantly. So, which is good. I mean, that's, you know, that's the whole idea. That's why you buy this stuff. So, do you want to pick some stuff up here? Thank you. There we go. That's it. That's all of it. This telehandler has definitely earned its keep, as they say. So. I mean, obviously I'm still paying for it, but looks like I left the reverse lights on in the... Did I? Did I leave the tractor in reverse? Interesting. It's funny, I had these Marshall trailers for a while, but I never use them. You know, mostly because the bale trailers, you know, because they're not, you know, auto-stack, and we all know how I feel about that, so... But this little tipper, certainly there's nothing wrong with it. All right. Animals mucked out. Awesome. Now, let's go. First, draw this back in. Drop it. We'll go and put this back on the Unimog. And we'll grab the two... Oh, really, BP? Again, back and forth, right? Oh, I don't have any choice. I mean, I have to drop this off. And it doesn't make any sense to leave it over there, so because I'll forget it's there. So we'll put this back on the back of the Unimog. We'll come back, we'll grab the bale forks, come back again, grab 2 straw bales, and then we can feed them, and that will be that. Thank God for the flatbed on this Unimog. You know, the Unimog doesn't see a lot of use anymore. It's basically just used to haul animals around. But in this case, it's very, very handy. Nope, nope, nope. Could you not put the bucket through the back window of the Unimog, BP? I mean, she's old and everything, but damn. Can't afford to buy anything else, so... Geez, again, really? That's a depth perception thing again, right? Oh, that's barely on there, huh? That's not on there. I need to get it closer to this edge, but every time I do, I end up trying to smash the back window off. Okay. That's going to have to do. It isn't ideal, but we'll strap it down. She'll be fine. All right. Back across the street again. Here we go. I know I could have just moved all this stuff over there, but there's more room on this side, on the beef facility, than there is in the pig, so... This is how you put 1,000 miles on a telehandler. Back and forth, back and forth. Where did I leave these? Right here. Yes, the attachment is valid. What are you doing? Cut it out. Go away. Thank you. It does that sometimes if you do everything all at the same time. If you hook up and hit D and enter and all that at the same time, it'll kind of get confused and be like, I don't know what you're trying to do. So, because these have cameras, so it takes a second for the script to say, oh, I'm attached to something, and let me get the camera active. So. All right, now, back out of transport position. Enable automatic loading. Grab these last 2 bales, get them over there. And then we'll feed the... See, that's the camera right there. I don't really like it, to be honest. It's okay in certain situations, but for the most part, it just makes me basically seasick. Can I have this bale too? No? Why can't I have this bale? This will definitely load 2 bales at once, won't it? Oh, it will if I raise the... I didn't raise the things. Wow. I should stop being a farmer, huh? I'm not very good at it. Unlock, please. Or is it unlocked already? Probably is. I'm just not on the ground enough to pull out of it. There we go. Okay. Safety first, BP. All right, now we can, let's see. Can I just do this without all that nonsense? Yes! Oh, they added that. Remember I was complaining about... Whoops. Really? I didn't want that. Stop that. Remember I was complaining about having to do the whole sort of, unlock thing and everything, which is very cool, don't get me wrong. But there's times when you just want to say, okay, can we just make, I want to make this move. And so they added that in. That's really good. That's awesome. Way to go, CZ guys, for listening. Okay. Let's try this again now. Oops. Well, this is going to be a longish episode, huh? So much for the 20-minute episodes. Again, not sweating that too much. There we go. I bet this would probably actually grab 3. Very cool. Ah, tree. Can't see. Can't see. Gotta get the bales up out of the windshield. There we go. Yeah, it's funny. This is one of those things where if you're not into it, if you're not, into animal farming or whatever, this is probably very tedious, right? But if you are into it, if you're like me and this is your favorite part of the game, I could do this all day. You know what I mean? If I had 50 sheds, I could be doing this all day and not find it tedious whatsoever. I guess it's because of the equipment. I think I like this, the telehandlers and all that sort of stuff that you get to use with this, that's probably a lot of what it is. Now, any chance I could spread this top one first? No, you're not going to. I guess if I lowered it enough, it would have let me, right? Oh, yeah, very cool. So I don't have the floating bale. Excellent. All right, now we'll go doors. We'll go around the other side, put some straw on them, and then we'll feed these guys, and that will be that. And I'll go up and empty out the rest in the cow trough off screen, No sense me dragging this episode on any longer. It's going to be near an hour as it is. And again, if you guys don't, if you don't watch the whole episode, I fully understand, if you look at the time and you're like, oh, I don't have time for that, it's cool, I get it. But this is one of those things, obviously, that needs to be done. So, and I really wanted to make an episode today. It's funny, I couldn't make a 5-minute episode all day, but I managed to make an hour-long episode at the end of the night. Okay, whatever. It's one of those deals where, I'm going to spend 5-6 hours a day playing Farm Sim anyway. Whether it's doing stuff off screen, whether it's, testing stuff, or, just playing, it's going to be like that. So I might as well, while it's working, record. A lot of this stuff's good. Oh, I kind of put myself in a rough spot there, didn't I? Can I get out of here? Yes. A lot of this stuff is going to stay down here for a minute, and I'll move it all off screen. Okay, now you need to come off so I can hook up to the... Oh, yeah, I did. I left it in reverse. Didn't realize the Marshalls had reverse lights. That's kind of cool, though. There we go. Now, let's see. Let's see how many times we can crash into the Marshall trying to get... No, I want to go backwards. Trying to get lined up here. That poor Marshall, brand new. First thing it did, haul muck. That's probably what it's going to do for its life anyway. So, but again, that's brand new. So all, it's painted with all anti-corrosion paint and all that stuff. So should last a very long time as long as I take care of it. All right, and unload this. Again, going to take hardly anything. Full. You'd think after how many hours of this I've played, how many, nearly 1,500 hours, I would just know that when it stops, it's full. But I always hit the button again just to make absolutely certain. I also need to remember to bring water down for these guys too. In fact, I should probably make myself a note so I don't forget. There we go. That's that. Full. Watch, I'm going to do it again. Yep. Yep. Very good. Kind of flew through that one, but okay. And there you go. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, I get it. It's a long episode, but it's all stuff that needed to be done. And it was kind of neat because everybody was down here, at the same time. So let me just set the parking brake so I don't forget. And turn off the beacons. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. Again, I'm not going to be so rigid about it's going to be 20 minutes because 20 minutes I'd have filled that trailer up once and that'd have been the end of the episode. That would have been boring. I think this was fairly interesting. You got to see me fumble around a little bit. I got to make a video finally after all day of trying, and I'm really happy about that. Everything seems to be working now. So. As always, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the love and the support and the loyalty and the feedback about this series. I'm glad you guys are still enjoying it. I know it's going to get a little repetitive now, but I'm going to try to add stuff as I can. But it's farming, and this is kind of what it is. And as long as you guys keep enjoying it, I'll keep recording it. And then enough of you tell me, all right, VP, that's enough. I'll stop recording, but I won't stop playing. And I've said that 1,000 times. To all the new subscribers to the channel, thank you and welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Lots of stuff on the channel, 560 videos. You know what I mean? Lots of stuff to watch. Some of it is even very good. feel free to get interactive and leave your comments and questions and tips and suggestions and everything else. I love reading that stuff. That's why I do this, is for the interaction. For all the friends that I've made, over the 2 years now almost of this channel, that's the sole reason I do it, because I really enjoy that bit. And without you guys, none of this would happen. And thank you so much. And as always, guys, thanks so much for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.